She texted while I was on the ER. Gurney. Appendix about to burst. Babe, can you Uber me to brunch? Bottomless mimosas won't wait. I stared at the screen until the morphine blurred the words, then forwarded the screenshot to her dad. What happened next cost me a scar, a relationship, and 3 months of my life. I'm 31, a project manager for a mid-size architecture firm in Seattle's South Lake Union neighborhood. My name's Ethan Caldwell. People call me E. Until last April I thought Emily Harper and I were on the same 5-year plan. Rescue mutt from the Seattle Humane Society, maybe a condo in Ballard, a kid after I made senior PM. We'd been together 21 months, long enough for her to leave a silk scrunchie in my shower and for me to memorize her Starbucks order. Oat milk latte, 2 pumps vanilla, extra hot. We shared a 720-square-foot one-bedroom in Capitol Hill with exposed brick and a view of the Space Needle if you pressed your face to the kitchen window. Rent was $2,400. I paid $1,600 because my W-2 looked better. Emily worked remote for a clean beauty startup called Glow House, posting ring light selfies with captions like, Self-Care Sunday, and Manifesting Magic. I'm the guy who color codes the Google Calendar, meal preps salmon and broccoli on Sundays, and still calls my mom in Tacoma every week without fail. We met at a mutual friend's game night in Fremont. She laughed at my terrible charades clues. I acted out the Matrix by pretending to dodge invisible bullets, and texted me before I'd even found my coat. That laugh, bright, unfiltered, felt like the first sunny day after a Seattle winter. The pain started Friday night after happy hour tacos at Poco Bar and Grill. I'd ordered the al pastor. Emily got the cauliflower because meat bloats. We split a pitcher of margaritas, walked home hand in hand under the cherry blossoms on Pine Street. I kissed her goodnight, tasted lime and lip gloss. By 3 a.m., I was curled on the bathroom tile, sweat soaking my Gonzaga t-shirt. The stabbing was sharp, localized, moving lower right. I'd seen my cousin go through the same thing in college. Textbook appendicitis. I nudged Emily awake on the couch. She'd migrated there because I smelled like death. Babe, I need the ER. She squinted at her phone, the glow harsh against her sleepy face. It's 3:17. Can't you drive yourself? I have a 9 a.m. Stand-up with the marketing team. I reminded her I was the one with the Subaru keys and a 104.2 fever. She sighed like I'd asked her to donate a kidney, opened the Lyft app, then crawled back under the fleece throw my mom knit us for Christmas. The door shut behind me with a finality I didn't recognize yet. Swedish Medical Center on Pill Hill was a Saturday morning circus, flu season colliding with ski season injuries. The triage nurse took one look at my vitals and fast-tracked me past a guy with a clearly broken wrist. Blood work, CT with contrast, surgeon on call. Perforated appendix. Needs to come out now or it'll seed infection everywhere. They wheeled me to pre-op. I texted Emily a selfie from the gurney. 4 in my left arm, paper cap crooked. Thumbs up like an idiot. Surgery in 30. Love you. She left me on read. 10 minutes later the brunch text landed. I laughed so hard the nurse thought I was seizing. The laugh hurt more than the appendix. I didn't answer. The anesthesiologist, a woman with kind eyes and a Pittsburgh accent, asked me to count backwards from 10. I got to 7 and thought, this is the last time I'll ever trust her. I woke up in recovery -1 organ and plus a Jackson Pratt drain snaking out of my abdomen. My phone had 43 notifications. All Emily. Hello? The girls are waiting at St. Bread. You're being dramatic. Fine, I'll Venmo request the Uber from your account. You owe me $38.50. Each bubble felt like a slap. I screenshotted the entire thread, airdropped it to myself, then forwarded it to her dad, Mark Harper. Mark's a retired Seattle firefighter, 6 feet 4 inches, built like a refrigerator with a gray buzz cut and a voice that could stop traffic. He still calls me son, even though we're not married. We bonded over Mariners games and his secret lasagna recipe. Mark replied instantly, I'm on my way. Hang tight. The words blurred. I wasn't sure if it was morphine or tears. Emily finally showed up at 2:07 p.m., wearing high-waisted linen pants, oversized sunglasses, and the faint smell of Prosecco. She kissed my forehead like we were posing for a couple's maternity shoot. The surgeon said you're fine, right? Because we have Taylor Swift resale tickets for next weekend, floor seats. I pointed to the morphine button clipped to my gown. Press this if you want to help. She pressed it twice, then checked her Apple Watch. I have to hop on a Zoom at 3. Text me when they discharge you. Love you. She air-kissed and left. I watched her go and felt something inside me rupture that had nothing to do with my appendix. Mark walked in during that sentence. He took one look at me, one look at Emily's retreating Lululemon leggings, then pulled up the screenshots I'd already sent. His jaw flexed the way it does when the Mariners blow a lead in the ninth. Emily Grace, waiting room. Now. She opened her mouth, closed it, followed him out like a kid caught sneaking out. I closed my eyes and let the morphine pull me under again. They discharged me Monday with a bottle of oxycodone, a drain that looked like a clear grenade, and strict instructions. No lifting over 10 pounds, no driving, couch for 2 weeks. Emily drove me home in silence. Spotify cued to her Girl Boss Anthems playlist. Our apartment smelled like vanilla diffuser and the garbage I hadn't been able to take out. She dumped my hospital bag on the floor, kicked off her Blundstones. I'm going to Soul Cycle. You'll be okay. Yeah. I nodded. The second the door shut, I called my sister, Jessica. She's an RN in Tacoma. Showed up 20 minutes later with a cooler of homemade chicken noodle soup, a printed post-op checklist laminated at FedEx, and the no-nonsense energy only older sisters can weaponize. She took one look at my face and said, "You're not okay." I wasn't. I was hollow. Emily came back at 9:12 p.m. with 2 friends, Lindsay and Tara, carrying Aruhan bags and a bottle of Veuve Clicquot. Music thumped from the Sonos. I was on the couch with a heating pad and a barf bucket. Lindsay waved. "Heard you had your appendix out. Wild. How long till you're like, normal?" Emily poured champagne into plastic flutes. "Babe, we're celebrating Tara's promotion to senior influencer manager. You don't mind, right?" I minded. Jess minded more. She texted me from the kitchen. "I'm sleeping here tonight. Couch is mine." I wanted to scream, but screaming required core muscles I no longer trusted. Tuesday morning, Emily asked me to Venmo her $180 for the brunch she never ate because the reservation was non-refundable. I showed her the itemized hospital bill instead, $14, $237 after insurance. She rolled her eyes so hard I heard it. "You have PTO." That afternoon she posted an Instagram story. Mirror selfie in aloe yoga set. Caption, "Stronger every day appendectomy who." Comments flooded. "Queen! Get it, girl." She didn't tag me. I noticed because I was doom scrolling on painkillers, searching for proof she cared. There was none. Mark called that night. "I'm coming over tomorrow. We need to talk. All 3 of us." Emily overheard. Panicked. "Dad, it was a joke." "He knows I joke." Mark's voice through the speaker. "Jokes don't land in the ER, M. Be there at 10 a.m. I hung up and stared at the ceiling, counting the water stain that looked like a map of Oregon. Wednesday, Mark arrived with a manila folder thick enough to choke a printer. Inside, printouts of the texts, my discharge summary, the lease agreement showing only my name. I'd signed it alone because Emily's credit score was a work in progress. He sat Emily down at the dining table like she was 16 and caught with weed. "You're moving home until you can act like an adult with a moral compass." She cried mascara rivers that left black trails on her cheeks. "This is my apartment too. I have plants here." Mark pointed to the lease. "Legally? No. And those plants are succulents. You killed the last 3. I stayed on the couch." Every word felt like a sit-up against the incision. I wanted to feel triumph, but mostly I felt tired. Emily packed 2 suitcases while Jess documented on her phone. Time-stamped photos in case Emily later claimed I threw her out violently. Tara and Lindsay offered to help load the car. Mark sent them away with a look that could extinguish a grease fire. By 8:07 p.m., the apartment was quiet except for the hum of the fridge and the faint smell of Veuve evaporating. Mark hugged me, careful of the drain tube. "Your mom would have skinned me alive if I let this slide. Heal up, son. Call if you need anything." His hug smelled like Irish spring and safety. I cried into his flannel shirt like I was 12 again. The first week post-hospital, I slept 14 hours a day, woke up soaked in sweat, changed the drain bulb like clockwork. Jess rotated in with our mom. They brought rotisserie chickens from Costco, watched Jeopardy with the volume low, and made sure I swallowed antibiotics with applesauce because pills scratched my throat. Emily texted at 2:03 a.m. from her childhood bedroom in Issaquah. "I can't believe you snitched to my dad. This is emotional abuse." I blocked the number. She switched to iMessage from her iPad. Subject line apology. Body. 3 paragraphs about Mercury retrograde, her anxiety, and how I never communicated my needs. I forwarded to Mark, then marked as spam. Each blocked message felt like closing a door I'd left open too long. Week 2, the harassment started. Fake Yelp reviews for my firm. Project manager abandoned site after elective surgery. Unreliable. My boss, Carla, called me into a Zoom. Camera off, sweatpants on. HR flagged these. Same IP as your ex's LinkedIn profile. You okay? I sent Carla the brunch thread and the hospital selfie. Reviews disappeared by lunch. Carla bought me a $50 DoorDash credit for the inconvenience. I ate pad thai alone and cried into the noodles. Week 3, my Subaru got egged in the building's parking garage. Security footage showed a blonde in Lululemon defined jacket, height 5 feet 6 inches, gait with the same hip sway Emily does when she's tipsy. I filed a police report, added it to the accordion folder I now kept in a fire-safe Jess bought me. She labeled it evidence in Sharpie. I stared at the footage on loop, searching for the girl who once danced with me in the kitchen to levitating. She was gone. Week 4, I returned to work half-days, logging in from the couch with a laptop balanced on a pillow. Emily showed up at the office lobby unannounced with a matcha latte and crocodile tears. I just want to talk. 5 minutes. Security escorted her out after she called me abusive loud enough for the atrium to echo. HR emailed, "We've documented. Let us know if she returns." I started parking in the underground guest section and taking the freight elevator. Every shadow in the garage made my heart race. Mark texted updates from Issaquah. Emily was on the couch, refused therapy, told her mom I weaponized my surgery to control her. Her mom, Diane, sent me an edible arrangement with a card. I'm mortified. Rooting for your recovery. I ate the chocolate-dipped strawberries alone while watching Top Chef, tasting nothing. Week 6, the incision healed to a pink hyphen. I could laugh without clutching my side. Emily created a burner Instagram at Seattle Truth, posted a blurry photo of my apartment building with captions about toxic partners who fake illness for control. Mutual friends screenshotted, sent condolences in the group chat. I posted nothing. Jess said silence reads louder than clapbacks. But silence hurt too. Week 8, the final straw. I came home to find my mailbox stuffed with glitter, hundreds of holographic stars that exploded when I opened it. Glitter in my hair, my shoes, my MacBook keyboard. A note in Emily's handwriting on Glow House stationery. Hope this brightens your day, smiley face. I vacuumed for 2 hours, then drove to the King County Courthouse. Filed for a temporary anti-harassment order. Judge granted it same day. 500 feet. No contact, no glitter, no social media. The clerk handed me the paperwork and said, "You're not the first." I wasn't sure if that comforted or terrified me. Emily violated it 48 hours later. Showed up at my physical therapy clinic in Bellevue holding a get-well balloon shaped like a taco. The receptionist recognized her from the photo I'd circulated to staff. Police were called. Emily cried in the back of the cruiser. "He's exaggerating. It's just glitter." Officer handed me the citation. Violation carries up to 364 days jail. I watched her go and felt nothing but the weight of the balloon string in my hand. Mark picked her up from the station. He called me from the parking lot, engine idling. "She's going to inpatient therapy in Arizona. 30 days. I'm done enabling. Diane's booking the flight tonight." I thanked him, hung up, and finally cried. Not from pain, but from the sudden quiet. The apartment echoed. I realized I'd been holding my breath for months. 3 months post-surgery, I ran my first mile without stopping along the Burke-Gilman Trail. The scar itched under my shirt like a reminder. I moved to a new building in Ballard, top floor, west-facing, $2,100 rent I could finally afford alone. Changed my number, got a Ring camera, forwarded mail. Emily's mom still texts on Sundays. Photos of desert sunsets, no mention of her daughter. I saved them in a folder labeled Diane. I kept one thing from the old apartment. The chipped blue ceramic mug Emily hated because it stained her lipstick. I drink coffee from it every morning. Some mornings I raise it toward the window and whisper, "To bottomless mimosas." Then I log off Slack, lace up my shoes, and go live the life she tried to Uber away from. The scar pulls when I laugh now, but I laugh anyway.